Hey everyone, the Pyromaniac here, and welcome to a video I didn't think I was gonna make, but today I kinda just got motivation to do it for some reason. While going an older channel line, I no longer post on where I made countdowns, a couple let's plays, and reviews. Well, I made reviews, and while they're not the best reviews, they were reviews nonetheless. I did lose motivation for them though on the line, and it just became a mess. Like the last time I made one was, 8th grade? I'm now starting 9th grade. But, anyway, some of you may know that and I decided to make one. What is this game on? One of my favorite indie games of all time, Undertale. Now, Undertale is an amazing game, seriously. There's a reason on Metacritic, while I don't really trust them for movie reviews, video games, a lot of the time I agree with what they had to say. Only time I disagreed with them is like twice, so if you're asking me video game wise, they're pretty good at reviews. And the motivation I had for this review was I started watching some more Some Call Me Johnny ever since he posted his Mega Man X7 review. Now, I still watched Some Call Me Johnny before then, but I just decided, hey, why not go back to making reviews? Now, back then, I tried to be as objective as possible, which isn't going to happen. I'm not going to give these games an official score. Closest you're going to have for me scoring them out of 10 is seeing if I recommend it. And the structure of my reviews, I'll generally go for story, presentation, gameplay, and the other aspect that wasn't already tackled, that is the game's greatest or worst, depending on what game I'm reviewing. Overall, support my opinion. Since Undertale just got born on the Switch today, I think it's none other than the perfect time to review Undertale. Here we go. Alright, so let's get into the story of Undertale. Now, Undertale has, from what you're asking me, 3 sparks. I know there's technically a bunch of endings, but there's 3 major endings I want to go for. So, generally, just try and skip ahead in the video if you haven't played Undertale yet. It's best played blind. However, considering this game came out in 2015, and for a while time, and to an extent, it still does own the title of the most popular game. Heck, some people even call it, but even better than Ocarina of Time. Well, I don't agree with that. There's still spoilers for the whole 5 of you who haven't already played it or are just oblivious to spoilers. Anyway, let's go. So I'm going to start with the most popular ending, the true pacifist ending, where Undertale has one of the best morality systems, all you need context for. So when you spare all the, for the most part, lovable characters, you get the ending where, well, you save the underground. You have a final confrontation with the final boss, and since I don't want to spoil who the final boss is, it's something I try to respect with these reviews now. that part of the video, no, that's really going to be skipped over. All you need to know is what. Oh yeah, I should probably give the basic context for the story. Dang it, I screwed up. I should start beginning. Whatever. So you're a kid. You fall into the underground where there's a bunch of monsters. And it's somewhat implied that this could have been a possible suicide attempt from the kid, considering humans are kind of treated, from what little we get them, are kind of treated as, well, more monsters than the actual monsters. So that kind of explains that. And you go through the underground, either making friends or killing every monster, or even some of the monsters along the way. And your past best ending, you free everyone from the underground. It's a super sappy ending, but it does kind of fill my heart a bit with some guilt. A genocide ending, my personal favorite, is where you kill all the monsters. Final confrontation with final boss, in this case being what's heavily applied to be, if you're asking about majority fandom, the best character. While I will go over that character later due to it being one of the game's best aspects, it's also really hard finding. Just gonna say it could end up on a list of mine along the way. But what's his point? Then meet up with another character, Kara, in this case. You either destroy the world, refuse to, and then Kara does it. And the neutral ending's kind of an unsatisfying ending, in my opinion. All that happens is you get a phone call from one of the characters, and then you either get a different ending based on which important character you either killed, spared, or how many you killed or spared. Anyway, let's talk about that presentation. Honestly, Undertale in the way of presentation for me is kind of mixed. Really, it kind of just is mixed for me. Because the battle sprites, they look amazing. Toby did definitely put a lot of work into this game. And it shows with the battle presentation. However, during the overworld, in my opinion, Super Mario World, a game that came out in 1990, looks better. Yet again, this can kind of be excused due to the fact that this is being made by one guy, and his technically first game isn't even a full-on game that he made from the ground up. It was a ROM hack. So, with that information, I won't judge it too heavily for games starting off. The SNES, aka 90s game, is looking better in my opinion. Heck, that even goes ahead and shows. That, these games was definitely a golden age for games. Anyway, let's talk about that gameplay. Oh my god, I love the gameplay of this game. So let's start off with, hands down, my favorite part of this game, the gameplay's morality system. Having the ability to either kill or spare any important character. For this time, sure, I will agree that, at least from what my friend says, I don't know about this actually being done, but a lot of games actually having this system after their Undertale was released, trying to rip off its popularity. However, this game, it really works considering there is not out of the main characters, there's not a single one I hate. I find them all likable in some capacity. Sure, I have favorites. But if you found me to tell you about a character I really hate, it would be kind of hard for me. I'm not going to lie, there is no one specific example, but it's somewhat justified within the game's story, so not really, but still. My point is, wow, just wow, this. And the battle system. This is an RPG. That's you're gonna make or break. Are you either going to make it simple like Pokemon to where, in my opinion, it's still fun, but it's easy to grasp, or something like Mario and Luigi where you are just like a Mario platformer. My friend who doesn't like RPGs, he gets to be put in the action in an RPG, which he doesn't feel that same way about RPGs. Undertale, it throws just a simple system out of the way and gives you a bullet hell battle system. This, I really freaking like. It's a great system in my opinion. And it's great to see all these videos of people taking some of the hardest bosses in the game and trying to do them without getting hit. That just goes to show how great of a system this is. And gameplay wise, that's it. It's fun. Which, for gameplay in my opinion, that's all you really need. Fun. Seeing a lot of game developers nowadays forget in, but instead they put a gripping story and thinks that gameplay doesn't matter. Well, depending on the game, yeah, that can actually be the truth, but you're gonna need more of a story to make a game satisfying, in my opinion. Anyway, let's move on to the final thing I'm going to talk about in this video. The game. One of the game's strongest elements. Its characters. Oh boy. This game's characters. Let's start over from scratch. Flowey, the closest in the entire roster of characters I actually hate. But considering he's the game's villain, I generally like villains more when they're hateable. That's exactly why I love Dr. Wild and Getsus as villains from Mega Man 0 and Pokemon Gen 5 respectively. Generally, I guess that makes me as villains because of how hateable they are. Kind of what a villain is supposed to be. Your villain's not supposed to be as nice as Mario, guys. Hope you do realize that. Anyway, coming in. What am I talking about? I'm thinking like this. Goddamn. God, my lack of script really does show. Anyway, next character, Torio, she takes you in, but she's simply just acts like a mother to you, which really just like the pacifist story, just warms my heart. Hands down, my favorite is Papyrus. As he puts it, the great Papyrus. God, this guy just cracks me up. In the pacifist route, or even neutral route, this is my favorite part of the game. Because of Papyrus. How if you flirt with him in his battle, and ultimately spare him, you go on a date with Papyrus. It's hilarious. Your hilarity may be the majority of his character, but it's still pretty funny. I'm honestly surprised I didn't put him in my top 10 funniest video game characters. Now thinking about it, I probably should have, but hey, opinions change over time. Another character who was a contender for that list, Sansa Skeleton, the fan favorite character. And while I don't like him as much as the rest of the guys who like Undertale, he's still a good character in my eyes. So yeah, he's just really funny. His main character creates puns. These two are hands down some of my favorites. Just in general, not even in the game. And we have Undyne, a character I'm honestly okay, but I mean, he's a good character, but he's not my favorite. Essentially, Tomboy Punk, who the cartoons would kind of stick up for you in the end if you were the protagonist. That is, she just. Also, the fact that she's so into cooking, she burns her house down is pretty funny. Alf is honestly my least favorite character. Though she is honestly decently relatable for me. While I don't relate to her on everything, she is still a really relatable character for me. So my main point is she's essentially a nerd who makes trouble honestly with speech. Has trouble with speech. I guess has trouble being a human, to be honest. Well, in this case, just a person, not just a human, but you get my point. And she essentially relies on, outside of maybe a few friends, the only people she talks to is on social media, which to an extent I can relate to. Well, there are people who aren't exactly my friends who I talk to, but I will admit, I do have trouble actually coming up with conversations sometimes, so texting social media does help me with that problem. Then we have Meditime. Another one of my favorites in the game. Just, do I need to say anything? Robot who has a talk show, who is also majorly flamboyant. He is best waifu. I will fight you on that. Asgore, just really lovable, other than the fact that he's murdered children. He's just essentially a tortured soul who just wants to see his wife again. And almost cried when I even heard him talk. That she was alive. Then we have Asriel. God, he's adorable. He's Angel so good, protecting as a lead. I'm talking about the one from Farm. Cynical shit, you can go and die in a pit Ellis. What was I even doing there? I have no idea. If you're wondering why I'm not covering Kara, well, to be honest, in my opinion, she is kind of there in terms of the story. Sure, you meet her in... What am I talking about? She's important in the story, but personality doesn't really exist for her, so and the same with Frisk. And I should probably call Kara, and I don't Kara doesn't really have a gender, but I guess assume that Kara is a she. Anyway, do I recommend Undertale? Hell yes. With hilarious dialogue, something I forgot to mention. Great gameplay, story, and characters. The only thing I found a little lacking when trying to be objective about this game was the presentation. It was somewhat lacking. And even then, only in the overworld, so... And once again, this is really someone's first game, so presentation being bad is somewhat excused. I legitimately have to look for flaws in this game. That's how you know you made it a good game. And while it may have a terrible fandom, with attempted murder actually in it, not joking about that, it's a really good, entertaining game. Whether you're playing it on your PS4, PS Vita, PC, or Nintendo Switch, which I'm not sure everyone's going to be playing the Nintendo Switch version considering this video is coming out the Nintendo Switch version was released, but still. Now I think I should give you updates on the new projects coming out. Like Zero is still in production and you should get it in a couple of days. Besides that, I'm working on a new countdown. Originally October was going to be of 2 months. I ultimately lost motivation for the project, so I'm not going to be doing that anymore, sorry. And besides that, just some countdowns, and my next review happening in October should be a review of the first Mega Man game to commemorate Mega Man 11 being a thing. And I will try to get these reviews out at least once a month. Anyway, this has been the Pyromaniac, and I will see you guys all next time. Goodbye.